But I'm glad you asked me.
Thought it was tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that was like, nope. They're only on Fridays for the interviews, and then I upload them. I usually put them up on Tuesdays.
Okay, nice.
Yep, yep, yep. So I think we recording. We should be recording. You get the
Yes.
message? Yeah.
Yep, it's a recording in progress.
All right, let's go then. We're ready to rock and roll. All right. So now that everything is recording, we're gonna start over from the top. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. It was a good holiday.
Yes, the holiday was good. We
Yeah.
ate good, we played games, and now I'm getting ready for my daughter's birthday.
Daughter's birthday. Okay. What kind of games did y'all play?
We did Family Feud. We did
What?
the cup game. And then we did like some old school trivia.
Really?
We
I
didn't
seen
even get
everybody
through
doing
all
the
the
cup
games.
game.
Huh?
I seen everybody doing the cup games. Like when you say something, you got to pick the cup up.
I think there's different versions. The one
Different
we were
version.
playing is like head, shoulders, like whoever's calling it out, you gotta, yep. And then when they say cup, grab the cup. And then,
Got you.
yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I seen that one too. But yeah, you got to pick the cup up ultimately. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. That's what I'm talking about. We ain't play no games and stuff. We just had. Honestly, I don't celebrate the holidays too much anymore. But being that my granddaughter is here and she's her third Christmas and her birthday is on the 30th, we just kind of going with it. But today is Kwanzaa, so happy Kwanzaa too.
Yep. Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah, happy Kwanzaa,
Happy
everybody.
Hanukkah.
Yeah, all of that, all of that, all of that.
Yes.
All right, so tell the people. So this interview is to let you know. I host these interviews. It doesn't necessarily for everybody too that might be watching this. You don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur. You don't necessarily have to have a business or anything of that nature, right? I just want to interview people just so we can kind of get familiar with each other and know what everybody is doing, what everybody is into, and what maybe some dreams and aspirations that people might have. A lot of times we don't get to express our dreams because we tell our big dreams to small-minded people. But inside Authority Brand Builder, we want to become an authority in our brand. So that means we can never play small. That means we can't think small. So I would never downplay your dreams and what you want. You know what I mean? If you say you want a jet right now, I'm gonna say fuck it, go get two. You know what I'm saying? You want a million right now, why stop at a million? Go for two. You see what I'm saying? So like I told people when I ask people what's six figures, usually they say, you know, between a certain number, 100,000 or something like that. But six figures is 900,999 dollars until in 99 cents, right? And then you get a dollar, you go up to a million. When I tell people that, they never go for the highest number. They always shoot low for what they think six figures might be. 100,000. That's six figures. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So for us, we want to think in very high level. I want to think high level in everything that I do. We've been playing small way too long just as a people, right? So this is the reason why I have these interviews so I can see where everybody is at and hopefully try to get them to think way bigger than they possibly already are thinking. So like I said, whether they want to start a business, whether you already have a business, let's see how we can, drop some seeds, plant some seeds to think bigger. Plus, I want people to know exactly what it is that everybody do because a lot of us, like I said in the last interview, do a lot of great things, but a lot of people don't know what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is your time to shine. You get to tell us some things. I'm gonna ask you some questions and so forth, and then we're gonna kind of go from there. So go ahead and let us know what your name is, where you from, and tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, hey y'all. I'm Chai Shayla Kimmons. I am from Portland, Oregon. And a little bit about me is I'm an entrepreneur. My entrepreneur journey started when I was 14 years old. I started selling custom floral I called them crowns at the time, flower crowns. And I started there at last Thursday, which is a big pop-in event, and they have tons of vendors, local vendors that everyone comes out. It's like every last Thursday during the summer. So that's where I started. And even before that one, let me not I started before that because my parents, they always had some type of family business going on, so they made sure, like, once we were able of age to enroll into that business, we were enrolled into that business. So we started with healthcare. We also sold like fajas. Now they're called fajas, but then they were called body garments, which are still called body garments. But a lot of people now are more familiar with the faja term. Um, and I was like the only one in high school with my little signage on my car. And yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur from a very long time, came from an entrepreneur family. Our
Mm.
house was already showcase ready. So whoever we pulled off the street or anything to come try on this garment, we were our house was ready.
Right.
So I started very young into being an entrepreneur, and I always knew I wanted to have my own business and be financial free by 18. That didn't happen. We are still working on it. And so today, I'm in the beauty field. I am a hairstylist as well as a women's boutique owner, and I'm also a motivational speaker.
Mm. Okay. All right. Motivational speaker. So let's talk a little bit about that. When um when you're doing motivational speaking, what is like one of the things that you really like to touch in on the most? Like, like I said today was probably like mindset. I guess kind of like what I described our my interviews to be. So, what was one of the things that you touch in mostly on, like when you're speaking against?
So I definitely like to read the room. I like to know who's going to be in the room. What exactly is this event for before I'm speaking? And I make sure that while still like I've done a few college events, and I will say, while still, being true to who I am as a Black woman, making sure that I definitely include others in that as well. I did one speech. I'll just give this an example. I gave this one speech and I talked about just us coming from all different shades as Black people.
Mm.
And just pinpointing the fact that, I have nephews that are chocolate. My daughter is even chocolate. I have a nephew that is vanilla, just like some other people that may be in this room. So, kind of trying to make sure that I am staying true to who I am, but also not just singling anybody out. But all the time, that isn't the case. But my
Right,
main thing is to really just know, like, okay, who's going to be in the room? What may they need to hear in this moment at
right,
this time? And definitely praying before all of that and asking God for guidance so I can, be able to speak in that room.
right. And to be able to deliver that message, right? And I think that's one thing a lot of people be missing too is that, when when we get called upon to do God's work and let God work through us, a lot of times we kind of go into these events or to these things. And sometimes I think we focus so much on business that we leave God out. And a lot of these blessings wouldn't be even available if it wasn't, for God. And I know when I do my speaking events as well, right? Sometimes I black out and I just let God do his thing through me, And I know a lot of times I can have a script and have something I kind of got formatted in my head, but then sometimes it's just I can stick on script, and sometimes I know when I black out, it's like I'm just going, and
Mhm.
I know that that's not me. So I definitely can understand that and appreciate that. Um, Within your business, how do you reset when you find that motivation is starting to fade and you still got to get work done?
So how do I am in the process of a reset now. And what I really needed to do, yes, because I needed it. I was burnt out, very, just didn't know which way if I was coming or going. It's like I'm doing all the things, but it was just too much. So how I reset is just understanding, seeing, okay, you need rest because we're not going to be able to produce anything of quality without the rest. I mean, I understand we're in that hustle culture and it's like, okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. But sometimes the key factor that your body need is rest so you can produce that quality work, so you can produce those quality ideas and those quality speeches, that quality hair, whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so really just identifying and being honest with myself and saying, hey, you need rest and being okay with that. If I didn't post on social media that day, just being okay with seeing that because sometimes we're just not okay with it. We're like, we need to keep going, we got to keep going. But just being honest with myself and saying, girl, you're burnt out right now. Like
right,
you need to take this time. So that's what I do. Just identify, be honest with myself. And really for me, because everything I do is rooted in faith. So I'm asking God, like, God, where is this? Like, what's going on? What do I need? And he's telling me and I'm listening. And then he's also sending the resources and the things and the people. Like even me taking this current reset, I didn't know how I was gonna do it. And God literally sent someone to kind of tell me something. And I was like, oh, wait, I could do this while doing this, while getting rest, while doing all the things I got to do. So I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, so I definitely believe that plays a part in it as well. Consulting with God, asking him, what do I need? And just really being honest with yourself and taking that time and knowing that it's going to be okay. Your business, you can get back to your business. You can get back to answering those emails, answering those calls, the interviews, whatever. But you got to take care of you.
You got to take care of you. Yeah, definitely, definitely. And so this is one of the things. I'm glad you touched on that too, because this is something that we touched on in the last interview, is being able to take yourself out of those everyday work so that you don't get burnt out, right? And I'm
Hmm.
not sure. You could tell me after I'm done. This is what the person said, but I think you was at the last mastermind, and I know we were talking about automations, right?
Hmm.
It was talking about automation. So I want to let everybody know, you guys, when you have a business, you can never really work on your business if you're constantly working in your business. All right. You can never fully work on your business. So when you can't work on your business, then you leave things, like you said, off the table. Like, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And then that's when burnout happens. So what we end up finding that works the best for us is that we have automation set up that can take care of the light work that we need, right? So like you said, if you
Hmm.
got to post online, if I don't want to post online, guess what, you guys? I got a VA that only pays $6 an hour to. She only works part time, right? $6 an hour. I know that might seem like it's crazy, but my VA is in Egypt. That's enough money, actually enough money for them. You know what I mean? And the money converts over into their money. So when we get automation set up, like on my Instagram, I have ManyChat set up. So when ManyChat is set up and I do like a keyword, comment the word dreams, right? And you get a 20% discount. Now, let's say you go viral, because I got a post going viral right now. I think about within maybe 6 or 7 days, it's probably I think at 23,000 views right now and like
Hmm.
2 or 3,000 comments, right?
Oh.
Now, Instagram, I want you to be able to reply in 1 to 2 seconds. I'm
Hmm.
not sitting by my phone trying to wait for these people 1 to 2 seconds. Like, here go another one. Here go another one. Because guess what that's stopping me from doing? Taking care of my clients and the things that I need to do and the things that I'm good at. So what we call those things, right, is called MWAs. You know what MWAs stand for? MWAs, not in like, the rap group, but M.
No.
No, MWA stands for minimum wage activities. All
Mm.
right.
Okay.
So we have to take ourselves as the business owners out of the minimum wage activities. And I'm only saying that in a not in a disrespectful way to people, right? But in a sense of I don't need to be sitting there answering my phone to every single message. So now
Mhm.
ManyChat will then reply to the actual thread, right? And then say something and then tell you check your DM. When they go to their DM, they now get a script. Not only do I get a script, right? Part of that script is that they can't get what they're asking for. Say it might be like, all right, for you guys, take thirty minutes out of your day, put this prompt into Chat GPT and it'll clean your credit report. Upload your credit report, say all this whole script, right? People want the script because they don't want to pay
Mhm.
for credit repair. But before you get the script, guess what you got to do? You have to follow my page. See what I'm saying? So now
Mhm.
I get something and you get something. If I can't at least get a follow, then you don't get nothing. See,
Right.
people will try to, freebie you and oh man, this is listen, if you ain't getting nothing, I ain't getting nothing. If I don't get nothing, you don't get nothing. That is a fair exchange, right? So now they gotta follow me. After they follow me, they get the script. After the script, now you get a little bit more personable. I can either comment to you or it sends you a link to jump inside the school community, right?
Mm.
So now when you get inside the school community, because you know that you're in there, that's when you get access to me. Okay.
Right.
So to just kind of piggyback off of that, I'm not sure if that's where that person kind of gave you, but that's what I want you and everybody to think. How can we take ourselves out of the everyday minimum wage activities so that we can put ourselves and work on our business, right? So now I can work the back end. I can now talk to clients because guess what? I'm on a meeting with you. Do it. I'm not about to be on this Instagram trying to talk to, you know what I mean? Talk to
Right.
everybody. So now I can do the work that I need to do and still make sure that the work is getting done on the back end, right?
Hmm.
There was another thing that people said that you know the 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 automations or bots, whichever you want to call it, takes away the personality or personality out of like being personal with somebody, right? And here's the thing about that. Why would you give 30 minutes of your time or maybe an hour, let's just say to 5 people, and none of those people sign up? You don't
Mm,
went through a whole hour of trying to convince them and trying to convince them probably of something that they know that they need in their life to be fixed. If your credit is messed up, I don't have to advertise that to you. You went to the car dealership and they told you. There's a reason
mm,
why you came over here, right? But for some reason, people have to be convinced about fixing their lives, right? So I'm not going to spend an hour of my time convincing you why you need to fix your life that you probably messed up in the first place, right?
mm.
So right, so like then
Yeah.
you're not going to sign up. So I'm like, I'm not about to do that. So if you can't get through the prerequisites, if you can't, if this freeze up, okay, we back.
Yeah, we back.
All right. So if you can't get through the prerequisites of going through the proper channels and then being able to get to me, because then I feel like you will respect my time, right? Because that's the greatest
Right.
commodity that as entrepreneurs that we have. We are trying to buy back our time. Because at the
Mm,
end of the day, if you go, remember I said this at the event, entity is a person, place, or thing. So there's no difference between you and a job. When you go to a job, you are an entity, and a job is an entity. You are trading time to them. In exchange, they're going to give you back some money for services and labor, right? So when you trade time for money, then you know that you are an entity. The greatest thing we got is our time. I want to buy back my time. I don't want to go give 8 hours a day or more to somebody else's dream when I can do that for myself. And there's so much more power in ownership, right?
mm,
Right?
mm.
Somebody convincing you that your time is worth $23 an hour because today, like, I need $23 an hour minimum, or even $45 an hour. If I showed y'all right now that you can charge $99 a month or something like that, or let's say I got an offer for $997 to teach you how to make $10,000, I just made $1,000 in an hour. Now do $1,000 times 10. I just 10 people just signed up. I just made $10,000 in an hour. Right? Yeah, right. So
Yeah,
because people want to learn how to make money, and
right.
they tired of working, they tired of hustling and living pay to check, and they know that people are out here getting the bag online. They know this, so they would gladly pay $1,000 to learn how to make 10 a month. Right? So I had 10 people sign up. I just made $10,000 an hour. So what do I look like letting somebody convince me that my time is worth $23 an hour?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you
Yes.
don't know that until you learn it. So for you, I definitely want you guys and you know, like to think about like those automations and how you can get things set up and automated. And if you have to have a virtual assistant again is somebody that's outside the country and they just do the light work for you. Like in my
Mhm.
Instagram, my VA, she talks to people. They think they talking to me, but she has a whole script to talk to them. My VA is also inside of my school community making posts. So she keeps the engagement going. See what I'm saying? So that's what Jelani don't have to do. I can go to sleep. I can finally, like you said, get some rest. Because
Mm-hmm.
that one thing I can feel what you said. We don't get rest. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So was that what the person kind of brought to you? Was it automations or what was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys even, yeah, you guys talked about it too. So then after, I was like, I was realizing myself, okay, some of the things that I need to do differently, especially with automations. And so I really spent this whole month like getting everything in order. So then that way I can come into the new year and I don't have to worry about nothing. I mean, some
Man,
things, but
some things.
not those things. Like you said, the minimum wage activities, right? Is that
There
what
you
it's
go.
called?
There you go.
Okay.
Hey, no
Yes.
takers is money makers. Y'all better write that down. Minimum wage activity. She got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to take ourselves out of that. So that's good. I'm glad that that's in your circumference because again, we can't do what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know until we get into a room. Right? And
Right.
every room is a person is a key to unlock a different room or a different door. And inside that
Hmm.
room becomes the most valuable thing there is the information. And we just take the information and apply it. I didn't know nothing about automations like maybe 2 years, 3 years ago, right? And it took me a minute to get into the swing of things and understand how it worked. Now, every time I make a post, it pretty much goes viral because as
Nice.
soon as ManyChat catches it, it's like, oh, people like this post. So then what it
Mhm.
does, it feeds it to more people. Why? Because it's commenting to them people in 1 to 2 seconds. As soon as they leave a comment, bot is commenting. As soon as they leave a comment, bot is commenting. So now they're like, oh, people like this. So it's going to keep pushing it out. People don't understand, like, that's how you actually get virality inside of Instagram. So all these new content creators, y'all be like, ain't nobody commenting on my post. Ain't nobody commenting on my content. One, your content might suck. Two, you need to have some information behind it, and you need to be able to solve a problem. When you have a problem out there, you have a solution for it. More people are going to jump on that post, right? So yeah, that's really dope that you found the automations through us, and then somebody else brought you that too.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So what do you think success is more about? Discipline or alignment?
Oh.
Ooh.
You know what? I think discipline because you can be in alignment with certain things. Like the opportunities could be there, but if you are not disciplined enough to stay into that alignment, to catch the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, to do the work that you need to do, to,
Mm-hmm.
seize the moment, whatever,
Yeah.
just to get it, yeah, I believe that discipline, alignment definitely plays a part, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
be disciplined. You got to do the works. Faith without works is dead.
I know that's right. I was wondering where you was gonna go with that. I don't know if I was thinking the other way around, but if I was, you definitely corrected my mindset on that. So I definitely can appreciate that because you're right. Without discipline, you can definitely be in alignment with all the things. But if you don't have the, it's like money, right? It's
Hmm.
probably easy to get money, right?
Right.
But I don't want to teach get rich quick habits. I'd rather teach stay rich habits, if that makes sense,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
Because get rich habits is just saying I know what to do and I know that this is going to bring me money. But stay rich habits, you got to have some discipline. You got to know
Yes.
where to park that money. You got to know what to do with it, right? It's like
Hmm.
credit. Credit is very dangerous if you don't know what to do with it. And
Right.
this is something I told my last person I interviewed, Kenyatta, that you know when you don't have discipline, then yeah, things will definitely fall away, and you need to have a mentor. A mentor taught me what to do with my credit. I
Yeah.
could get credit right now. I'm watching all these YouTube videos and Instagram videos, but nobody's really there to tell me like, nah, don't do that. So
Hmm.
I always tell people to invest into a mentorship and more personal development. And I think with that, that develops a sense of discipline, right? Because you
Yeah.
want to be better with it. So credit is very dangerous if
And
you don't know.
yeah, like you said, it does create having that mentor. Sorry.
Mhm.
Having that mentor creates a discipline because even for me, like I have a business mentor now, and without him, like, it's like I knew some of the things that I needed to do, but he really puts it in like, as a smart goal. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, let's put it out at like this. You got this many weeks to do this, and really allows me to be held accountable as well. And stay disciplined because I know like we got our next meeting in a month or so. So you need to make
Mhm.
sure you're disciplined and getting this stuff done because you need to come to something with this meeting because you're not going to waste this man's time and he's not going to waste your time as well. So, yeah, I really like that you said that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember that I said that meeting. Like, there's three things that a millionaire is going to give you, and that it's either going to be time, money, or it's going to be resources. And usually, they don't give you you're never going to get all three at the same time. You're going to get one or the other. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because they're very cautious and very protective over their time. So, like you said, you're not just going to just come up here and just do anything. And there's a word, right, that people like to throw around today. It's called gatekeeping, right? And this is
yes.
my philosophy, and I learned this from Eric Thomas, right? Because he's one of my mentors as well. Um, is that if I give you the information and you're not doing anything, like you said, you got to show up to this meeting with something. And if I give you this information, you're not doing anything with it. It's not serving you any good purpose. So that means you're not acting on the information. So you can't move on to the next bit of information until you acted on the information I gave you previously,
Right.
right? So if your mentor told you last month that you had a homework assignment to do, it was like set up your automations. You had a whole 30 days and you show up next month, you don't got no automation set up. Why am I going to give you the $1 million play now? I'm not going to give you the
Right.
play around because you're not ready for it. And that's the thing about gatekeeping. People be like, give me information, give me information. They probably do this to you too. But then you realize y'all not ready for it,
Right.
right? You can't follow
Exactly.
simple instructions and you want this chat GPT prompt to clean your credit, but you can't follow the ManyChat instructions. It said comment the word hard way and you put Minecraft. I
You're the
said, look
no.
at look at the caption and you can get the phone numbers. You know what people do? They get in my inbox and be like, "Can you send me the script and send me the phone numbers?" I'm like, did you listen to the video? Did you read anything? Because the phone numbers is right there. Listen, this ain't gonna work for you if you can't follow simple instructions, right?
Right.
So if you can't move on that information, I'm not gonna move past that because then I'll be burning, like you said, I'll be burning myself out on people who's not even getting results because they can't follow simple instructions. So,
Right.
damn, it was something else you touched on too that I wanted to touch on that. I don't know. I'll probably come back to it. Let me see here. So, how do you personally now? This is one thing too. A lot of people get online and they compare their lives to other people's highlight reels when they get online, right? We see the lifestyle marketing, we see all these things and stuff like that. So, how do you and what advice would you give to people who personally deal with comparison when they see other people winning?
I would just say know that God has something for you as well, and that you don't need to look at others and because you never know what they did to get those things, how they how they got it, whatever the case may be. Like just look at what you need to do, and also sometimes that's where the hard work and the discipline comes at. Because sometimes we want things and we're like, well, they got it, but it's like, what have you done to obtain the things that you want? It's okay to be inspired by others, don't compare yourself, but do the work to get to where you want to be. And just know that, your own self, one, you're beautiful as you are. You're talented with the things, whatever God has given you, use that gift, ask Him how to multiply it. Um, and yeah, just know that we're all uniquely made. My business is FFAWM LLC, which means fearfully and wonderfully made LLC. And that means that we were all uniquely and beautifully made. So just
Mm.
know that we all have our own footprint of being uniquely and beautifully made.
Absolutely, y'all. I don't know if y'all on here, but I know somebody, wherever y'all gonna watch this at, drop some fire in the chat when y'all see this video posted. That is no, that's the like I couldn't even say it better myself. Like you are definitely uniquely made, and sometimes it's just not your time. You got to respect the process and the journey. Sometimes people want success and they want it right now, and then when they don't see it moving fast enough, you don't really see that it's working, right? As you're
Right.
going through. But let's say, you start an LLC, right? You have to get your incorporated, you have to call the people, the Secretary of State, you have to go through all these prerequisites. And then maybe down the line, you're like, oh, I'm not making any money. But you got to realize you are 5 months ahead of somebody who haven't even started yet,
Hmm.
right? But we don't think about it because we want it right now. And sometimes we don't see the results until years later, right?
Right.
So when we don't see the results, then it's like we ready to give up. That adversity didn't it broke you, right? Because I always say
Yeah.
adversity builds character. So this is what I tell people today is like don't compare yourself to everybody else's highlight reel because the
Right.
comparison to somebody else's dreams is the thief of all joy. I tell my children this: stop looking on the internet trying to say match up to somebody else's highlight reel because, like you said, you don't know what they took to get there, what they did to get there. You got to put in that work, and if you're not
Yes.
putting in that work, you don't see results right now. You can't be ready to give up. Like Nib said, the only determining factor for me and anybody else who's successful is I didn't quit.
Right.
That's why in next month, I think you're going to be speaking and should be speaking at the event called Run Your Lap that we got so the
Okay.
people can run their lap. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that later. But, the premise of that event is that I want people to know, like, what does it look like when entrepreneurs who have had a long run of being an entrepreneur and you didn't give up. I've seen people tell me like, bro, I started a business. That shit wasn't for me. And again, it might not be for everybody.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But then I also know that person particularly probably ran into things that we're already like we're gonna deal with. You know what I mean? We're
Right.
gonna deal with no customers, bad clients. We're gonna deal with things not going right out of our control, systems going down, and all kinds of stuff that might happen. Like it might be a power outage and you don't have any power. You trying to do somebody here, half is down and half is up. What do you do?
Right.
At that point, it's like, well, if I could have proper preparation, I probably would have a generator or have these other things prepared because one thing I do know is that proper preparation prevents poor performance. And if you
Hmm.
don't prepare to fail, then you're going to fail to prepare, then you're going to plan to fail. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So we got to make sure that we are also always thinking ahead. So I definitely appreciate that answer. And you guys don't compare your lives to everybody else's highlight reel. You're gonna look on Instagram and on social media. You're gonna get very discouraged or be inspired. You know what I mean? And one can be more than the other, or you can have both. I like to congratulate because I believe in collaboration over competition. So whatever
Me
somebody else
too.
got, I know I can go get because God
Yes.
gave me all the ability and the greatest ability that I have. You guys, I'm not the greatest entrepreneur. Everything else, the greatest ability that I have is I execute. If you give me something, I execute on it. I'm a dial in and I'm going to execute on it. There is no plan B for me. Plan B is for people who plan to fail at plan A. That makes sense? Because you
Yes.
already got plan A, right? You thinking about plan B, you're already subconsciously said, well, plan A ain't gonna work. I already got a plan B. See, for me, it's either gonna work or it's gonna work.
Mm,
There is no plan B. Like I'm going to figure out a way to make this work because every time you get a no, that's not a no indefinite for me. That just means
right.
not right now. Not
Next
right now.
opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, that part. You see what I'm saying? That just means not right now. So, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just want to say no means next opportunity,
Next
and
opportunity.
just, yeah, just keep going and don't, compare yourself. And how you mentioned too, like sometimes people, it may take 10 years. Like I've met a woman that's very successful in marketing now, and she said, it took me 10 years. I didn't start making money for 10 years. So imagine if she would have given up in 5. Imagine if she would have given up in 2 or a couple months. And then another woman, another amazing entrepreneur that was in the room, she mentioned that even if you fail and you're still continue to keep going, God is already seeing that. So he is honoring that. So sometimes we may not see those things right away, but know that you're planting those seeds. So keep planting those seeds because eventually you're going to reap the harvest. You're not doing this for nothing, okay? If God called you to it, he will bring you to through it.
Oh man, talk heavy. I brought you to it. I gotta get through it. Listen, man, I know that's right. And I'm a firm believer as well. God's not gonna put anything on you that you can't handle. He's trying to see whether or not you're ready for it and you're ready to handle it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a lot of times that I think a lot of people just feel like they just wasn't ready. Maybe it wasn't their time, maybe it wasn't their season. But like you said, the 10 years, even Ice Cube said that if you're not ready to not make money in 10 years, then don't do it because you're gonna have to take like me right now, I gotta pay that VA. Even though it's
Mhm.
not a lot of money to me right now. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think monthly around, I think it's like what, maybe $500 a month, maybe somewhere around there, I
Mhm.
think. Because she only worked part time, so, but that's still an employee. That's somebody I got to take care of before I pay
Right.
myself, right? When I have these events and I got my content guy going around and doing stuff, I got to make sure I'm taking care of my people. So even if I had money at the door, if I even did charge, which is not, I'm not charging, but if I did, that money, I got to figure out how to allocate and have, like you said, have discipline on knowing what to do with that money because I gotta take care of my people first, and then I eat all the way last. So that's definitely one of the big things. Now here goes something I want to ask you because I know this is a very big thing for me personally. Is the circle that you keep is a direct influence on the level of success that you are going to have later, right? So how do you
Mhm.
feel, or do you feel that your circle matches your ambition right now, and are you outgrowing them?
Wow. Look, you're
Ooh,
trying to be
I can
all
put
up
nobody
in
on
the
blast.
business. Trying to be all up in the business. Okay. But no, no, I definitely believe that as well, is that your circle needs to reflect not only just you, but like where you're trying to go. And at this moment, I do feel like I'm a little bit outgrowing my circle. I don't have a big circle. But in a sense I am outgrowing them. Is just like, support everything. I feel like you need to 100% support each other. And that's a big thing. Like how you were saying that comparison piece earlier. Um, some people don't support you because they're comparing. Like, well, how does she get here if I've been doing this longer? Well, and it's just like, but if God is surrounding you with people that have it, just know that you're also next in line. If that's something, a desire of your heart, and He put it there. And so, in a sense, I am outgrowing a piece of my circle. I do also surround myself around a lot of spiritual women, So in that sense, we are very like-minded. We are on prayer calls, we are on Bible studies, we are doing it up. So, but also I have another circle outside of these ladies that are all around the world where we come and we meet online virtually. Um, and so, in a sense, yeah, I'm outgrowing them, and I just know I'm in a transition period. And as the end of the year has been dwindling down, I'm seeing that God is taking away some people, and He is saying, "Hey, you need to be more around people that are fitting where you're going and where I'm taking you." And so, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one thing I had to learn for myself because, just to be kind of like honest and transparent, like I come from the streets, you know what I mean? Just like any other young male that was raised in Portland, Oregon, I was raised in Northeast Portland. So I'm very familiar with the Woodlawn Park area, the Unthank area, the Kirby area, and over here on Phelan and over here, we didn't get pushed out to the numbers till a little later on. I was riding
Right.
number 8, number 6, and number 72. If anybody know about those the
Oh,
main
me
ones,
too, baby.
right? Right.
Northeast, baby.
Feel me?
15th and
Feel me?
Ainsworth.
Right? You see what I'm saying? So we know the routes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even though it wasn't all the way a bad life that I grew up in, I still grew up in a time to where it was a lot of destructive behavior being cultivated and then left for babies to figure out once other guys either went to prison or passed away or things like that, right? So it wasn't like I grew up and uh, seeing a lot of entrepreneurs, right?
Mm.
My mom worked 2 jobs, single parent mother. So she worked 2 jobs and everything. So she was gone a lot. So I found myself in the streets, not doing bad things, but just still being a teenager. Like, remember riding bikes or going to the mall to the tilt and like being
Mhm.
in Lloyd Center for hours doing absolutely nothing. I was
Right.
still being a kid, right? The carnivals and all that stuff, taking button pictures, right? Oh, I'm totally showing my age right now. But right. So, but one thing I did learn in this growing into an entrepreneur is that everybody is not going to have the same vision. Everybody's not going to um, be able to see like the end result and want better for themselves, and that's perfectly fine. Doesn't mean that I love them less, but I know that they're still distracted. They want to go out and drink every weekend. They want to go party. They want to go do this. They want to, and nothing is conducive with the lifestyle that I know that I want for myself and I design and I
Mhm.
want for myself, right? So I always tell people you got to audit your circle. Audit your circle. Every 6 months, you should look at your circle. And if, like Nip said, if your circle ain't inspiring you, then you're in prison. If your
Mm.
circle is not inspiring you, then you are living in a prison. Not physically, but mentally, you can't see past the level of what your environment is now giving you. So if it's only let's turn up on the weekend, let's go chase women, let's go smoke, let's go drink, let's go do this, and then we double it and do it back again every weekend, and it's nothing like, hey, bro, let's sit down and let's start a business. Hey, bro, I got this business plan. I got this business idea. Hey, bro, I want to introduce you to this real estate developer. If it ain't nothing that can push your life forward, then it's definitely holding you back. And I believe that people that is distracted is only going to give you another place to be distracted at,
Mm.
right? And
Right.
sometimes we need a little bit of distraction to take our mind away from stuff, but that's when I want to give it or if I want to give it because we know it can be dangerous out here too. And I'm not putting my life in jeopardy by going to a hole in the wall bar that might be a whole bunch of guys standing on cars doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff because I know what's going to happen in the next hour or two. After the
Right.
next couple Hennessy shots and the bottles getting passed around, it's going to be some crazy stuff that I'm not about to jeopardize my life in. Not no more,
Right.
right? So out of your circle, I always tell people too, if you show me the 5 people that you hang around, I can probably show you your future. So I want everybody to think about the 5 people. I even have Jasmine this. The 5 people that you place in your presence. I want you to look at the 5 people because you are a product of the 5 people that you place in your presence. So you know
Mm.
that saying, if you're around 5 millionaires, you're probably going to be the 6th millionaire. Like you said, you're going to pick up on what they're doing. You're going to
Right.
pick up on their discipline and their stay rich habits. Because they can
Mm.
show you how to get a boat, they can show you how to get a car, right? But they can also show you how they kept it. That's the end goal. That's what I want to learn. How did you keep it? You can show me how to get it. I can go get it on my own. But how did you keep it? That's the part that people need to really be paying attention to. So when people ask that, I don't know if you ever remember that question. Would you rather get $1 million or hang with Jay-Z for an hour? You
Oh
remember that?
yeah.
Remember that? What would
Hmm.
you rather do?
I would rather wait. What was it?
I think the question was like, would you rather take like five, one, let's say 1 million, $1 million right now, or 1 hour with Jay Z?
For me, I'm personally taking the 1 mil
Mm-hmm.
because one, Jay-Z, I mean, I mean, definitely could learn a lot from him, but I'm gonna take the 1 mil and I'm gonna use it for a mentor as well, not the whole thing. But if we're looking at as in Jay-Z being a mentor and, how successful he is and, kind of picking his brain and getting that info, I'm gonna take it as someone that I truly want to invest in and have invested me with whatever their mentoring business. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do personally.
Okay. So cash flow. And that's the thing in entrepreneurship too. People, that's the thing about entrepreneurship. You have two different ways you can make money. There's cash flow that you get right now, and then there's long-term investments, of course, that you can wait 10 years and that property that you got for 100,000 in 10 years is going to be worth 500,000, right?
Hmm.
So we know that there's a long term and there's the short term. The short term is usually the cash flow. And I've never heard nobody put it like that, honestly, because they usually like, well, I don't know what I'm going to get from Jay Z, and you don't know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? So that's very valid. Um, for me, right now, I would probably take the meeting with Jay Z, just because I know that I personally, for me, I already got so many different my hands and so many different. That's going to sound weird. My hands with so many different mentors, right?
Hmm.
And I would take that meeting with Ho because I want to know the habits that he has. And it just
Hmm.
would be very curious to me if I can even, I don't even have to like really primarily teach me anything. But I want to know, do you wake up? It's kind of weird. Like, am I going to be in this bedroom as him and Beyonce waking up? But I don't know. Do they wake up and get on Facebook? Wake up and get on calls? Wake up and get on meetings? What do a person that is a billionaire status running a multiple companies, right? And Jay Z and Beyonce is kind of like one of the most mysterious couples. We don't hear about them a
Hmm.
lot. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what do
Right.
they do?
So you want to be in their business.
I want to be in their business. I do. I want to know if they wake up and scroll or if they wake up and like eat breakfast. I want to know what you wake up and work out because there is a blueprint to success. Most millionaires that I know, they wake up early, they work out, and they get their day started before anybody else do anything, right? Because
Hmm.
there's a thing that I like to for everybody to. I want you to think about it too. It's like in 2026, we did our run in 2025. We set some things up. You learned some new things. I learned some new things, right? 2026, I want to say, how can I wake up and dominate my day? So that's what everybody
Yes.
think about. How can I wake up and dominate my day? What does that mean? I wake up early and I make sure that every hour and every minute that I do is something working towards a goal, right? Spirituality. I gotta wake up. I'm gonna read my Bible. I'm gonna read my book. I'm gonna go work out. Then I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna answer some emails and do those other stuff. And then by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm probably done with everything. That probably would have took me longer to get started with, right? So I
Hmm.
want everybody to think, how can you dominate this year? And dominate, just start small. How can I dominate the day? You dominate the day, you eventually will have 365 days of domination. Then you just dominated that whole year, right? So start small. If you wake up and say I'm gonna be 1% better tomorrow than I was today, by the time you get to this December of 2026, you're gonna be 365 points better, right? Just at 1%,
Yeah,
1%, right? So that's what I want people to think about.
I'm gonna definitely be thinking about that because 2026, we're moving a lot differently.
Moving a lot differently. So
Hmm.
what are your ideas and thoughts? You can share a little bit. I don't share too much because I
Yes.
believe in keeping some things definitely for yourself. But what is the trajectory like? What do you want to see happen for your business in 2026?
Really, I just want to see for my business, I would like to do more events. I won't
Yeah,
say what
see,
kind of events just
there you
yet,
go.
but
Mhm.
I want to do that, be more out in the community. Um, that's very important. Community has been always very important for me. However, just I haven't been out in the community as much as I've had wanted to in the past few years. So I would say just events, community events. And I just want to see my business continue to just flourish. I do want to invest in some more mentorships, in some more classes, things that I can get better at my craft. Yeah, and I just want to see, I just want to see the fruit of it
Got
all, the things, the seeds that I've been planting in this season. I want to continue to see more clients in my chair,
Yeah.
continue to help women grow their hair healthy and long and strong. And even if you don't want long hair, just healthy hair, I want to educate women in that area as well, especially Black women. Um, yeah, those are some of the things.
Love it. I love it. I love it. That's all good. And that's what I was like. I didn't want you to get too far into it, but I like that, like events. And I think that's one thing that I know in Portland is missing so many events. Like I recently, relocated to Atlanta and I'll be back and forth, right? But I see Atlanta how they move and how they have so many events. It's everybody's at the same event. So if you had like an event this week and you invite me to come speak, guess what? I got an event like next week, and then now you on stage speaking, but it's still the same people who came to sit in your audience came to sit in my audience. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing about getting in those rooms is that yes, they might came to see you speak, they might came to see me speak, but they might be sitting next to their next business partner. But if you don't get into the room, you would never get this opportunity. And then people
Mm,
miss out on
right.
opportunities because they're not revolutionary. See, the revolution, there's three people in business, or in the world, really. There's three people. And the revolution they're going to interact with opportunity because they see it. They don't have to too much think about it. They're risk takers. Revolutionaries are risk takers, right? And they're going to take the risk, not knowing what's going to happen. No risk, no reward, right? Then there's the second people. They got to see it to believe it. You got to sign up with Jelani before and see some results before I sign up, right? That's
Yeah.
it. Let somebody get their hair done, and then the person be like, "Oh, all right, she cool, all right." Then they gonna come book with you, right? And so
Yeah.
it's them type of people. And then it's the third people who's like, "Well, now it's too late." It's like Bitcoin and Airbnb. If we would have gotten
Mm,
an Airbnb when it started, or Bitcoin when it started, we would have been up. But now it's like $1 million to even get inside of Bitcoin, and we're not going to get it, right?
right.
So now it's just too late for them. So when you could be doing hair and they're like, you could have got in on this deal. Now the price done went up because they done took so long, they don't want to pay $500. Well, you could have got in
Right.
when I told you. See what I'm saying? But they want to
Hmm.
see it to believe it. So, that's like a big thing for me is like making sure that, I'm able to learn how to interact with opportunities. And like you said, having events and getting inside of these rooms, the more events we have, the more that I think the trajectory of like events in specifically in Portland can go because again we'll see a lot of bad girls club or Aries parties and everybody
Hmm.
go out for that. But if we say, look, we about to have a dope, it's gonna be a dope. I think my event was pretty dope. That's actually my first one, right? We had a little
Yes.
singing, little rapping, we had some comedy, it was fun, it was lighthearted, it wasn't too crazy, right? And and then we had an after party afterwards. So you would think like people would want to. I would love to see more people jump and say we can have entrepreneur events, and they're just as fun as going to the Aries party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
just as fun, And I haven't seen too many events that had two in one day, to where you can come get some good information, get some coffee, joke,
Right.
laugh, go in the back, go do a podcast, do all these other things, and then later on that night you get to go out and go hang out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Drink and do
Hmm.
whatever it is that you want to do. Like, come on, man. So I love that you want to do more events because that's one of the biggest things that I brought back from Atlanta is that I'm going to start hosting events every month, much as I possibly can, and
Nice.
just see how it turn out. Right? Like I said, risk takers is money makers. I'm
Right.
just taking a risk. I don't know nothing about this shit. I don't know nothing about throwing events. I'm not an event planner or nothing. I ain't never threw an Aries party, y'all, or a Scorpio party. Me say Scorpio because I'm a Scorpio. I keep throwing out Aries
uh,
like I'm one of y'all. Are you an Aries?
no,
Okay.
not at
I don't
all.
know why. I don't know why Aries keep popping in my head. I'm not even an Aries. Whatever.
Aries is coming up soon.
Is it coming up soon? It must be why.
Next
'Cause I'm
year.
like, next year, right? I'm like, why I keep saying that? I'm not even a damn Aries. All right. Let me see here. This is a good one. What is the hardest part about explaining entrepreneurship to people who don't get it?
I think the hardest part is explaining why you do it
Mm,
because people are like, well, why are you still in this? Like, why don't you just go get a 9 to 5 and just do the regular stuff? And I think, because a lot of people, that is what was brought up is like, hey, go to college, get a 9 to 5 and work there forever and just, do that. And I think it's hard for people to see, um, or just for people to get out of that routine And so when you are trying to explain to them, it's like, they're used to just having this routine. You clock in at this time, you clock out, you go there Monday through Friday. And so just for them to see, why you're doing it, why you're still doing it. Oh, well, why aren't you, up at this time? Like, I think, yeah, people just have all these different questions. Like, well, because I can do what I want. Okay, partially, of course,
Mm-hmm.
there's still some structure. Um, but yeah, I think just explaining why, because a lot of people don't see why you don't just kind of take the easier 9 to 5 route and go that way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely can agree with that. That's definitely one of the things that I've definitely seen. People just be like, why are you doing it? Why you I'm like, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna go give your time, like you said, to a 9 to 5. And I'm a firm believer that if you don't chase, I have dreams. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But like you said, faith without work is like that's dead, right? So I'm a firm believer that if you don't chase your dreams, you're always gonna work for somebody that chased theirs. So
Right.
when I start training my mindset of it like this, then I start to become mentally unemployable. Because again, I realize that I'm an
Right.
entity and the business is an entity. And I'm a write-off. Because now if you just a regular 9 to 5 employee, you're not thinking about write-offs. As a business owner, I know about write-offs now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I know now that there's no difference between me and a forklift. They literally went and spent $10,000 on a forklift, and that's part of the company. They wrote it off at the end of the year because they bought it for their business. Well, guess what they did? They technically hired you to do a service for the business, which makes you no more different than the forklift. You and the
Mm.
forklift are doing a production something to make sure that the company is running. So they end up writing you off. So once I realized that, and we get in a car accident at 7 o'clock in the morning, got to get to work by 8. We will leave our car because we don't want to take a point. You know,
Mm.
we
Right.
will, we will. This is the thing too, right? This is the thing, and y'all know this is one of the biggest ones for me. If they fire you on Friday, they gonna wait till Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. for the rest of on the end of your shift and fire you on Friday at 5 o'clock. They don't care whether you got bills, medical bills, what's going on, right? They don't care. But if you
Right.
so happen to quit, what they want,
A notice.
2 weeks,
Yep.
2 whole weeks for them to fill your position in, find somebody to replace you, give them the luxury of 2 weeks so that they can make sure that their end is good. But they don't care what we got going on Friday. If there's budget cuts and it's time for you to go, or
If it's Christmas and your kid's
Christmas.
birthday around the corner, look, I know all about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, right. See, and to me, when I start thinking like, nah, man, I can do some of this stuff on my own, then my question would be, why not? So I definitely agree with that answer. Is a lot of people ask more questions why I do what I do, why I do so many different things. That's another thing. Why do I do so many different things?
Hmm.
That's the thing, right? And I have to teach them like, well, you got to diversify your portfolio. If you got one bodega, let's say in New York, and that bodega have a bad month, the family having a bad month. But if I got three bodegas, one over here, one in Bushwick, one in I don't even know nothing about New York, but Brooklyn, and one over here, and one in Queens. When one is doing bad, I got two that I know is going to be able to pick up the work of that other one, right? So if I got one business that's having a bad month and people are like not doing credit repair for whatever reasons, or they're not getting business funding, then I got books I could turn on, right? If I wanted to switch up and say, all right, well, I got coffee. Anybody like coffee? I could advertise multiple different things just so I can make sure that like I said, my portfolio is diversified. And I know and this is the thing too. There is a difference between entrepreneurs and business owners,
Hmm.
right? Would you agree?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. Right. So for me, entrepreneurs, that's somebody who can take a lot of different things and turn it into something. And a business owner is somebody who say, I got a business. I'm going to do what I need to do. I don't like, again, no disrespect to anybody with food carts, but do food carts really need a mentor? Are people who got food carts really going to seek out a mentor? Because all they do is going to get inside the truck. They're going to make the food. They're going to serve the people. When it's done, they're done. They're going home. They're dealing with whatever they got to deal with. Me and you, we deal with entrepreneurship. So we invest in what? Mentorships. We got to
Hmm.
learn automations. We got to learn how to scale
That's
our
yeah.
business,
Hmm.
right? We got to learn things so that we can grow. That's the only way your business is going to grow is if you get the capital to do it, somebody else's capital to do it. Then you invest in mentorship to for them to teach you all the things that they did wrong so you can fast track your way to success, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference between a coach and a mentor. Also, a coach is somebody like a football coach. I see the dog in that player. I see something in them that they don't see in themselves. My job to bring it out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mentor is going to teach you all the things he or she did wrong so that you can fast track your way to success, right? Everybody got that, right? So I want everybody to understand that there's a difference between those two as well. So yeah, I definitely agree. People ask me why I do it, and then they ask me why do I do so many different things. I even have people tell me like, I don't know what you do. You know what? That's good. I don't need you to know exactly what I do. I do a lot of different things. Just
All
like,
right.
I'm a business owner. I don't know what everything Jay-Z does. I don't know everything, your mentor, right? You don't know everything he or she is like invested into. You're there to
Right.
learn from them, but they're not giving you, yeah, I got real estate over here. I got 15 properties over here. I got
Mm-hmm.
a beauty line. I'm not even about to tell you all of that. It's not your business.
Right. Just know.
Just know. Just know. We just know we getting to it around here. You know
All
what I
right.
mean? That's all you need to know. And whatever I show you and I advertise, that's what you need to know. Sometimes it might be faceless. Like I don't put my face on a coffee. There's
Mm,
no, there's a, it's just like a standalone brand. I don't need to put my face on that and say Jelani's doing that. You know what I mean?
right.
So that's that. One more question before we get out of here. Let's see. What's a fear you had to overcome to level up mentally and financially? Ooh.
What's a fear that I have to overcome mentally and financially? I guess the fear that I have is that getting over the fear that I can't because I can. Sometimes we look at these giants and we look at our dreams as too big, but knowing that, we can do it. We can do it as well. And even seeing those people, like how we were talking about earlier, having those, looking at people's highlight reels and stuff like that, but also knowing that it can be for us as well, that we don't have to compare, that we know that there's people that went before us that have done it. One, we also have God. So if he is the one that's putting it in your spirit, because he'll give you glimpses of your life, he'll give you glimpses of you being in that room and cutting those deals and, showing up as who you're going to be. And it may not happen in year 5. It may not happen in year 2 or year 10. So my fear is just because sometimes that fear creeps in like, girl, how you going to do this? How you going to get to this? How are you going to be able to be entrepreneur for the rest of your life? If that's, hey, if that's what God has for me. um, so that is a fear that I need to overcome because that fear can also leave you sometimes in a stagnant place, and that's not where I want to be. And I have been there before. Like I'm like, okay, I don't know where to go. I'm just not gonna do anything for right now. But I can't stay there because I know that there's so much more for me to do, and that I'm gonna get there. So continuing. So for me to overcome, did you ask how am I gonna overcome it or just the
Let me
fear?
see. Yeah, I think it said, how did you overcome? Yeah, how did you overcome to level up? So, how did you overcome the fear to make sure that you're able to level up?
So, how I am currently actively overcoming this fear is by continuing to feed my mind with one, the word of God, two, the positive things, the things above that I can do this. Um, and once you start just like feeding your mind that, you got to turn when that negative thought tries to come in, that fear tries to creep in, you have to be able to switch it really quickly. It's an everyday renewal of your mind because it's so easy to let those things creep in. But as mentioned earlier, God put you there for a reason. So there's always a bigger picture. And sometimes your journey may be a little bit harder, maybe a little bit tougher because he has so much more for you.
Mm,
And there's people that we've seen that done it all the time. We've seen people break down these barriers and be these multimillionaires and have these very successful companies and just living the dream. And it can be done for us too. So that's how I'm actively overcoming it is also, renewing my mind, but doing the work as well. Knowing that I can't do it, just by, okay, yeah, I can do this, I can do this. It's like, okay, you gotta put the footwork in. Because like they say, hard work beats talent. It doesn't matter how talented you are. There is somebody out there that is not as talented as you, that's where you want to be. And you looking at them like, and that's where you gotta say, well, what am I doing? Let me not compare. What am I doing and how can I get there? How can I use that as fuel, as ammunition to get to where I'm going? Because I've seen it all the time. I'm like, you know what? But it's that hard work is beating talent. And that's very true. That's a true statement. So overcoming it just by renewing my mind constantly, feeding my mind daily with the good, positive things. If God said I can do it, I can do it. And just putting in the work as well because faith without works is dead.
Man, you on fire right now. Wow. Hard work beats talent. Absolutely. And this is the thing too, right? With fear is like, fear, I don't believe fear is real. Like in that movie said, danger is very real, but fear is not real, right? Fear is an emotional
Mhm.
response to something that you're not sure how it's going to turn out, but it doesn't mean that you're going to die. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
okay, I want to start a coffee business. If it don't work, I'm not going to die, right? So there's no danger there. But there's a fear of it not working, right?
Right.
But you don't know that it's not going to work until you actually do it and try it. And then you fail a couple times, like run towards your failures so that you can learn those little lessons and tweak it. And then you figure out, well, I don't need to market it like this. I don't need to do it like that. Switch
Hmm.
it up over here. Get a mentor that's probably dealing with coffee. They can show you what they did because they're in that industry, right? So there's always a solution. Like I don't know what I'm doing, then find somebody that's in that industry. They can show you what they need to do with that coffee and how they became successful with it, right? So
Right.
fear is not real. But and then this is the thing as well. When you get into this level of fear, like you said, I think the word we're looking for is that you can fall into mental paralysis.
Mm.
Now you're mentally just crippled yourself. Now you're not able to move. I don't know
Right.
what to do. So many thoughts going through my head. I'm in fear to where now you don't make any kind of forward advancement to even do the next thing. Something happened. Now you're depressed. It don't seem like it's working. Now that's stopping you from finding a mentor. That mental
Hmm.
block is stopping you from making another post talking about your coffee. You don't even want to tell nobody you got coffee. You know what I mean? So now you get
Yeah.
to mental paralysis. So for everybody out there to end with this, like don't fear is not real. It's not to say that you're not going to run into it and you're not going to have it. But I think as you learn from both of us and as talking about our mentors as well, again, the only determining factor between us and people who stop, because I'm not going to say that they failed because every lesson in a business is, failure is lessons, is that we just didn't quit. We're not stopping. You know,
Amen.
yeah, we're not stopping. So you don't stop your work with God and having your faith in God because something didn't go right today. You know what I mean? You have to have faith. And when you believe in it so wholeheartedly, so insanely, that it makes that's contagious and it makes other people believe in your business. If I walk into your beauty salon right now, you look like I'm like, you about to do what to who head? Put some hot stuff to somebody's head and a needle and do some other stuff, and you sitting there looking like, I don't know if this gonna work. Well, you're not about to try some shit out on me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right? So you gotta have confidence in what it is that you're
Hmm.
doing. Please don't
Yes.
try to do no surgery and you sitting there like, oh, shit, I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work, Jack. Nah, you gotta have confidence in what you learned, what you're doing, and the lessons that you'll learn along the way so that you can be very solid in what you're doing. You know what I mean? So thank you for
Yes.
the interview today. Tell everybody where they can find you at.
Thank you for having me. And
You're
yes, you can
welcome.
find me on Instagram at FFAWM underscore. You can also find me on Facebook at Fearfully and Wonderfully Made LLC. And you can find me at the salon, Unique Touch Salon. And we are located on 13th in Alberta. So hope to see you guys soon. Have a great
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely. So look, everybody, I will drop the links to everywhere that you can find her at inside the comments
Oh, wait,
in the
sorry, my
description.
email or my
But
website,
there you go, the website.
FFAWM.com.
Com. All right. So I'm gonna make sure I get all the links and stuff so you guys be able to follow her in the comments or in the description below and stuff like that. Also, January 17th, she will be a keynote speaker at the Run Your Lap
Hey,
Authority Brand
hey.
Builder Mastermind, right? So if you guys not familiar with a mastermind is, this is where you come get information, hear things from entrepreneurs, things that you can take and tangibly add into your business, or if you want to start a business, you're getting information on how to start, where to start. You might even get some direction. You get to one of the best things you get to do is you get to get inside the room and actually be able to meet people that's doing things that you probably want to do or things that you just don't know. All right. So again, you don't know what you don't know until you get into a room. And we like to say, get in the room and stay in the room. All right. If you want to get inside our school community, it's absolutely free. If you want to upgrade to the premium or the VIP tier, it comes with, of course, it comes with more. But I don't want to make connections something that people got to pay for. Right. So get inside the room, stay in the room, get inside the school community. I drop all the links below. And we appreciate your time on January 17th. You guys be looking out for, and we will be seeing you guys in the school community. Salute.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you in a little bit.
Bye. Have a blessed one.
You too.